Welcome to Good to Go Creations.
That was good. I was just looking at the screen. It makes me laugh more. All
Okay,
right, go ahead.
Do it over?
Yeah.
Welcome to Good to Go Creations. Today we'll be working on my rally Jeep. What are we doing today, Andrew?
Putting these fog lights on it. These are actually daytime running lights. They're SAE approved. And we're going to install them on the rally Jeep.
First, we're going to take the negative battery cable off so you don't blow yourself up on accident. And keep it down somewhere where it's good. So here's the new fog lights we're putting in. These came from Harbor Freight. They're probably like really cheap. Got them for a birthday gift. Basically, this comes with everything you need. Lights. Should mount on a hood. Some hardware. You got your power. And you got a switch.
Those are nice looking lights. I wish somebody would have got those for me.
Yeah, it'd be nice, probably.
Is that everything?
It has everything. It's just some basic lights. Hello, viewers. I'm just taking this grill out so we can
And I need the conclusions.
get stuff better straight on the lights. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? So we figured out how we're going to mount them. We decided to use this top rail up here because it's thick enough and it's wide enough to be able to drill through it. We're going to use these little tabs as that makes a good lineup marker because they're all equally spaced. So we'll be able to set them both exactly the same spot. And they should add a little bit of structure because this goes into a little thing on the front end right here. So it should give it a better holding strength. We're going to use a bolt and a washer on the backside to help dissipate the strain on it, and hopefully it'll hold up a little bit longer.
Also, it's really close to where the screw holds the grill on.
Yeah, but there's screws all across this. So yeah, we're gonna drill through it now.
Wait a minute.
What?
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
What do you want to know?
Happy with the fitment?
Yeah, it looks like it'll work.
Alright, what are you doing?
I'm drilling some holes so we can zip tie the wires up out of the way to keep them from getting rubbing on stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna keep them right behind this lip. I don't think he needs to drill that many holes, but whatever makes him happy. He's gonna push the wires through where the other, I guess, auxiliary lights are pushed through. Now, when you do this, I would not recommend jamming a screwdriver through there because there's wires in there for the airbag. And if you were to catch that airbag wire and short it against something else with power, your airbags will go off in your face. There it is. Tell me when to stop pulling.
Now.
Looks good? Alright. We just went out to the store because the switch for the lights that were already in the Jeep was different than the switch that came in our kit for the new auxiliary lights. So we went out and we bought 2 switches that are the same, and we're going to mount them up on this empty panel in the dashboard. And we want the switches so when the lights are on they'll be flicked up, and when they're off they'll be flicked down. But this doesn't have on-off on it, so to find out what position is on and what's off, we can use a multimeter to find that out. So let me get the multimeter out and I'll show you the difference. Okay, so get your multimeter out and you want to set it to ohms, which is this symbol right here. I'm going to just set it to 200 ohms. And right there you can see it just has that 1 and then a point. A lot of ohm meters will say OL, meaning out of limits, which means infinite resistance. Okay, so that means there's no connection basically. So we take our switch and we hook these leads up to the 2 prongs on the back. Get these hooked up. Okay, so right there we're getting some resistance. So we know that there's actually a connection being made. It's not out of limits. So if I flick this switch, now see it just says that, meaning out of limits. There's no connection being made, so we know this way's off. So when we mount the switch, we're going to mount the 2 prongs because they're offset. We'll mount these 2 prongs so they're lower, so that means off and that means on. And that's how you figure out which way is which on your switches.
So we found this nice little panel that was blank inside the Jeep. I figured it'd be a nice spot to house all our switches for now and future. So marked off a little bit how I want them. Make them all even so they don't look stupid and all over the place, and hopefully they'll come out that way when I drill it. With these switches, you just drill a hole, and this basically just goes over and then it just clamps them together. It's like a between.
So you want to get a drill that's the same size as the threads right here.
Even a tad bigger would be okay.
Yeah.
So
there's a couple extra things you might need for your lights to get them in your car and working. Is some extra wire. The kit doesn't come with quite enough wire to get you where you need to go with it. You need some zip ties, because we're going to zip tie the wires. Zip tie, I got some wire conduit here used to protect the wires from things that get hot underneath the hood. Got some handy dandy wire strippers. These where we have to connect the new wires that we're going to use with the wires that came with the kit, and some electrical tape. And also I got an assortment of different connectors for plugging into these connections that come with the kit for the lights and stuff. And And I'm going to get started on that, and then after that we should be, we got our switches mounted and our lights going, so we'll just get this wire job out of the way and we'll be good to go. So this white wire I'm going to run to the battery. That's not long enough, so I'm going to have to add some extra wire, which is blue. I don't really care about the colors. I'm going to use these crimp connectors to connect them. So you push your wire, and then on the very end of this you figure out, we've got like somewhere between 16 14 gauge wire we're using here, so just stick this squish it. Okay, there you go. It's been crimped together. These wires aren't coming apart. It's a good tight fit. And I'm going to wrap this in some electrical tape. But you can also, if you want to spend a little more money, you could buy these crimps like this, but this plastic around them, on those there's actually shrink tubing. So you heat them up and they'll shrink and seal off the wires so they don't get rusty or corrode. So those are actually really nice, but we just got these ones, so wrap it with some electrical tape. Okay, now I'm going to use one of these because this is what's going to connect to the battery. We're going to put it along with this other one here, and we're just going to slide on that nut that tightens up the battery connectors. And same deal here, but this actually has shrink tubing on it, so I'll show you how that works. It's pretty cool stuff. Now to make this shrink up, you don't want to burn it, but you just want to heat it up. Just down so you can see it. You can see that end's all shrunk up around that wire to keep the moisture out of it, so your wires just don't corrode. You know, it's good right there. So now this, just plug this in the battery when we're ready. Now I got to do the other wire, this black wire here. This battery I'm going to run to the lights. So now that I got all my wires figured out, well, the wire gonna have to split to two, so I found this here. So we only got one power line going to the lights, and they got to power two separate wires. So we're gonna use that. Then I'm gonna put this on to make it look cleaner and to protect these wires. Put some tape around this wire loom, keep the wires in it. Now this is where your zip ties come in. You zip tie them to one of the other wire looms in the factory. Just put these on backwards.
One or two. I think they make them that way.
It's going to be the gear side down against it. Now I'm going to get to put the loom, and I'm going to go through to where the grill is. And I'm going to get the wires set up to actually hook the lights up and hook the grounds up for the lights. And I've pretty much got this all done in here. Just fed the wire and the loom through a little hole right in front of the battery. And then I'm going to angle it up, and then here's all our holes we drilled. I'm going to stick a zip tie through the hole around the thing, and this is going to get tucked up right underneath there, and you won't be able to see it even.
Hopefully.
It'll keep it away from things that melt it. And then we got this, 2 wires going here, 1 to each light, and we'll be all hooked up. For the grounds, I'm going to use these crimp connectors, and then I'm going to crimp them straight to the wires coming out of the lights. And here's my power going to the 2 separate lights. Right. All the extra wire I had was blue, so all my wires are blue. Now, the power on these lights have a different wire on them, and they use a connector like this. So I'm going to crimp these onto the power wires I got ran here, and they're going to plug straight in. I'm at the last step now. I'm just gonna take these 2 ground wires and I'm gonna put them together. I'm gonna run them through this, and then I'm gonna, where's my crap? Shoot.
Interiors.
Why?
These are awful.
There you go. All wired up. It only took me like several hours. Right, Andrew?
The lights look good. It took a lot longer than it should have to install them. And see how good they do.